Hey, I'm Joel with Power Stance Import Export, and thanks for checking this video out. This vehicle is for sale. Unless the thumbnail says sold, it is still available today. You can also find us online at powerstanceimport.com, Instagram, Facebook, this YouTube channel, or even the eBay store at Power Stance Import Export. We are a licensed used car dealer located right here in Oxford, Michigan, and we specialize in Land Rover Defenders. Now, let me do a little precursor on this vehicle before we get started. It's an absolute beauty. It runs and drives fantastically. The Td5 is a great motor for everyday driving. It sits comfortably at 70 miles an hour on the freeway with even extra passing power as well. So get yourself a steal and an absolute beauty. All right, thanks for watching. Let's get started. Hello, and up for sale today I've got a lovely 2000 Defender 110 5-door county station wagon with the 5-cylinder Td5 turbo diesel and the 5-speed manual gearbox. Now this is a right-hand drive UK import. It's now located here in Michigan. It comes with a clean, clear Michigan title. So let me walk you around the vehicle. I'll show you everything good and bad, inside and out, underside, and we'll take it for a test drive as well. So starting off up front here, we've got a pretty standard front end. Beautiful new lights arounds, grill, bumper, all looks nice and tidy. Looks like a new intercooler as well, and radiator. Those all look to be in really good shape. And I see some new silicone pipes here for the intercooler. So it's been upgraded a little bit. Engine looks pretty tidy. And I don't see any leaks out of the exhaust. I don't hear any leaks out of the exhaust as well. And now the exhaust, I believe, is a straight through pipe. Cat deleted, silencer deleted. So it's got a little bit of a grumble, and you can see the bell housing there nice and clean. And the footwells are spotless. Now, if you take a closer look, this is Epsom green and this is black. Okay, so pretty close. This is a very dark green. Now, the reason this is black is because this was replaced. This is a galvanized bulkhead. So your footwells, your bulkhead corners are never going to rust on you. That has been replaced, and that is a huge, expensive job that's already been done. And another really huge, expensive job that has been done to this vehicle. Here in the United States, we replaced it with a Richards chassis, galvanized chassis. We did lose the receipts on that though, but this chassis is never going to rust on you as well. Full galvanized chassis, brand new. All right, moving around on the outside here. Now the paint job, I would say it's probably a 7 out of 10. It does look beautiful and glossy from a few feet away, but there are a few blemishes here and there, a few different paint jobs. So I believe these fenders are factory. Obviously the bulkhead is black. The doors, those might have been repainted. You can see clearly two different colors of green here, a little bit of wet sanding and little stuff like that. There's some wet sanding that needs to be done right here on the corner of the bonnet, so that's been repainted. But the bonnet's in beautiful shape. They just missed this little spot right there. That just needs to be sanded down. Door bottoms, pretty decent. A little bit of corrosion here. So this exterior is not corrosion free. There's a couple little blemishes here and there. There's a little bit of clear coat peeling there. The doors are in, pretty decent shape. Tiny little bit of rust here on the driver's door, but pretty solid. Door cards are in beautiful shape. And same thing with the middle row door. Tiny little bit of corrosion on the bottom. A little bit of overspray right there. That could be rubbed off with some acetone. But the door frames are in really good shape. Those have been repaired. Super tidy. And moving around here to the back, capping's in good shape. Corners, tiny little bit of corrosion here on the top. Just a little bit of corrosion around the rivets in the corners. And again, let's take a look at the rear cross member from the backside. That's in beautiful shape. Chassis is mint. And then we've got a full-size spare with spare tire carrier, so it takes the weight off of the door. Little aftermarket corners for your bumper. The rear door, kind of the same shape, tiny little bit of rust here. This could just be scraped up and coated with some rust-proof paint and you'll be good to go. There's your rear cross member. In the back here, we got bench seats. I think, yeah, there's 3 seat belts on both sides, so you can sit 6 people back here. You can seat 6 people. In the back here, benches are in lovely shape. That's I believe these have been recovered with that techno pattern. Carpet looks original. That's in beautiful shape. New galvanized door sill here. Bumper corners. Again, cappings are all in beautiful shape. Sliding rear windows. They don't seem to rattle too much. Seem to be in pretty decent shape. A little bit of checker plate here on this rear corner. In the middle row, again, recovered seats in beautiful shape. Original carpet here. Not too much wear and tear, so that tells me this vehicle was kept pretty clean. And again, door bottoms in the middle row doors are in really good shape. We don't see any overspray on the door latches, which is nice. And while we're here, these are Defender Boost alloys, 5 spokes, and these are 235/85 R16 BF Goodrich all-terrains. Nice set of side steps. These are pretty beefy. These could take a pretty good beating, although it is starting to rust underneath here, and this needs to be just cleaned up and the mat glued back on. I'm surprised it hasn't fallen off yet. But pretty decent side steps. It's just designed to retain water. I don't know why it would be built like this, but anyways, these could be scrapped or keep them. Outside of the passenger door is in beautiful shape, very glossy. Couple little nicks and scratches here and there, but all in all, pretty decent shape. And again, just the tiniest amount of rust right here on the bottom of the doors. Very manageable. Front seats as well. These have been recovered. Center cubby box. Actually got a couple of cup holders here. And again, footwells are obviously in beautiful shape. Floorboards as well. Pretty decent shape. And this is all original carpet up front, original floor mats. Dashboard is in lovely shape. AM/FM CD Kenwood 5-speed manual R380 gearbox. Bonnet is in lovely condition, no rust on the bonnet. And this engine cover does cover up quite a bit, but I don't see any oil dripping on the motor mounts or anything like that. It all looks pretty tidy back here. There's the backside. So there's your intake. Nothing leaking there. I don't see any oil dripping out of the valve cover gasket either on this side. There's your VIN tag if you want to pause that and check it out. All right, so let's go ahead and start her up. We do have 169,000. Oh, you guys, this is serious right here, okay? This is the first Defender I've ever seen with aftermarket cruise control, and it does work. So this vehicle has cruise control. It also has the Td5 tach, fuel gauge, temperature gauge. It's got a voltage meter as well and a cork here. Ooh, Boston, yeah. All right, fires right up, purrs like a kitten. There's your voltage, 14 volts, kind of hard to see on camera. Rear wiper, extra USB plugs, cup holders. There's your tach, pretty sweet to have that. Very quiet motor. The exhaust again is a straight through exhaust, so it's got a little bit of a grumble. Oh, no, it's not straight through. There's a bit of a silencer there, but it's still pretty grumbly at the back. All right, so let's get underneath it and then take it for a test drive. Okay, starting off here in the rear, I can see a nice fresh set of brake calipers and rotors. Dust covers are missing, but the brake lines look nice and neat. A little bit of paint chipping on the rear diff, but I don't see any leaks coming out of the fill plug or out of the bottom on the rear diff. Shocks and springs are aftermarket, and you can see new bushings there on the end links for the sway bar. There's your rear cross member. Fuel tank skid plate has a little bit of paint chipping as well. That could be cleaned up and painted. And then there's your hitch right there, and it's got this 3 different positions you can put your ball and rear step. And I was wondering what the beeping was when I put it in reverse. It actually has backup sensors, which is kind of sweet. Okay, on the driver's side here, I don't know if you can hear the dang sandhill cranes, but they make an obnoxious noise. But they're beautiful, right? Okay. Pinion seal looks nice and dry on the rear axle. The rear control arms look good. New poly bushings there. There's your parking brake. There's your center diff. Slight drip there on the center diff. Typically they do all kind of drip a tiny bit. This one doesn't seem to be leaking a ton, but I do see a drip there. But other than that, pretty minty under here. Okay, on the passenger side as well, obviously outriggers are in beautiful shape. Again, there's your exhaust. That seems to have been replaced from the downpipe back. Maybe that's stainless, maybe that's just new, but pretty good looking exhaust. Battery box, a little bit of paint chipping on here. Not too bad though, I've seen worse for sure. Just a little bit of rust proof flaking off of there. So that just needs to be scraped and recoated as well. And then there's your front axle and front outriggers. Okay, and up front here, swivels look great. Poly bushings on the front radius arms. Steering drop arm looks good. That boot looks good. This is an aftermarket steering stabilizer as well. Old school Brit part. Seems to be in really good shape. There's the bottom of the engine. Looks very clean. There's your front diff. No drips. Looks like it's got a fresh coat of paint on there as well. Looks very new. And then there's the passenger side swivels. All in beautiful shape. Very clean. All right. And real quick, another couple things I noticed here. You can see the head gasket right here. It's got the 2 holes. Oh, focus. That means the head gasket's been replaced once. So that's a good thing. It's got a new head gasket. This is the 10P engine. So that's an early Td5 motor. It's kind of hard to see, but there's your engine number there. And then if you look where? Right there. See those 2 bolts? That's where the EGR was, so that's been blanked off. The EGR has been deleted, and another good thing, so that makes the engine run a little bit more efficient. Okay, one more little side video. I just removed the front seat so I could mount the camera here. We do have wiring for seat heaters, which is pretty sweet. So these both the bottom and the top of the seats have seat warmers, and then your switches are right there. Both driver and passenger seats. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's take her for a spin down the road, see what she's got. Go through all the gears and the steering and the braking and all that good stuff. So, you know, we got heated seats and we got cruise control. We've got a cork for corking things, a voltage meter, a tachometer. We've got a little phone holder right here, cup holders, ×4. I mean, this thing is kitted out, ready for the road. All right, so let's go through the gears. First gear, second gear. Yeah, so the exhaust isn't super loud. It's just a little bit grumbly, which is nice. Got some serious potholes here. So, a little bit of rattling out of the doors, plastic squeaking. A little bit of rattling out of the rear window. but suspension sounds nice and solid. And there's fourth gear. Okay. Yeah, tons of bumps on this road, so we're putting the suspension through the ringer here. All right, so we're in third gear going uphill. We're gonna back off a little bit. There's a car in front of me, so I'm gonna give myself some space to accelerate. All right, so we drop down into second gear. You can hear the turbo whistle nice, that's pretty sweet. All right, so let's give her the beans. Oh yeah. Nice. That's 50 miles an hour right there. Yeah, the Td5s, I think this has been remapped. It might be a stage 1 remap because it runs pretty decent. It gets up and goes. So that's a good thing. A little extra horsepower than factory. All right, brakes are nice and smooth. There's that beep in reverse right there, letting you know that the backup sensors are working. So there's reverse gear. All right, let's go ahead and go through the gears one more time. Oh yeah. That's second gear, 40 miles an hour, 45 almost. Third gear. That's 50, 55, 60. All right, that was 60 miles an hour there. Wow. She gets, and she goes. Handles the corners nicely like a champ. All right, well, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Any questions, leave us a comment. We'll get back to you.